Hey y'all, welcome to the realm of comics. I am back with another video, and as you can see from the title of this video, I'm here to talk about 10 manga series that I'm currently in the middle of. Just in case y'all was wondering, I only chose 10 because if y'all knew the amount of series that I'm really in the middle of, we'd be here for hours and hours and hours. I could do this for hours, for hours. Okay, I promise you, I'm done. No more horrible singing. Okay, y'all, so like I said, welcome back to the realm of comics. Welcome if you are new here, where we talk everything comics, graphic novels, and manga. And we're going to be talking about some manga series that I'm currently in the middle of reading. Some of these I am far along in, actually. Some of these I actually am far along in. Some of them I've been reading for years and I need to just suck it up and finish. And some of them are newer to me and they're actually shorter series, and so I don't really have to stress about how many volumes there are. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it so this video is not too long. So the first one that I have here is A Silent Voice, and this is by Yoshitoki Oma. And y'all bear with me now. I'm still getting with my pronunciations and all this jazz. We're growing together. We're gonna grow together. I started reading this one the series probably a year or 2 years ago, and I've really enjoyed it. It is about our two main characters. Our female lead is actually deaf, and so she gets picked on and bullied by our male lead, and this is when they're younger. As they get older, he starts to feel bad for what he did to her as a child, and so he tries to basically reconcile with her. And at this point, I'm with sis like, you was dirty, you was real grimy to me, I'm not finna be your friend. And so we follow and watch the development of their relationship. These are coming out now, or they have, I think, already. It should be completed. I think they're coming in 2 hardcover collections that are supposed to be extremely beautiful. I already have the complete box set, so I will not be getting these, but this is a series. It's only 7 volumes, and I do plan on doing a video specifically dedicated to A Silent Voice very, very soon, so make sure you are on the lookout for that. The next one that I have here is Black Butler by Yana Toboso, and this is one that I also have been reading for years and have not had the opportunity to dive back into it. I can't tell you how many volumes. What I'll do is I will put the volume count at the bottom of the screen because I don't want to mess the numbers up. It's a lot of numbers, and me and math is like oil and water. We just don't mix. And so Black Butler is a very interesting series. I actually started my kind of journey into Black Butler by watching the anime first, and so I think I'm up to volume 3 or 4, which in the grand scheme of how many volumes there are, it's really not that much, but still, we're just, you know what, I'm doing the best that I can do. And this series follows a young boy by the name of Seal, I think that's how you say his name, Phantom Hive, and he is known for being in the world of commerce, and he has this butler. And this butler is not what y'all think he is. He's not what you think he is at all. And so it is a darker series. I really enjoy it. I really like the banter between the two of them. It's a very interesting relationship that they have, and so I am looking forward to diving back into this. I'm not sure if I will start back at volume 1 because I feel like I remember enough of it that I don't have to start back at volume 1, but I may go back and reread volume 3. That way I have a more fresh perspective on the entire story. The next one that I have here is Sweat and Soap, and Sweat and Soap is complete at 11 volumes, and I have not read this volume. This was just the one that I could put my hands on without completely destroying my shelf. And y'all, if you've never read Sweat and Soap, you are missing out. Shay and Izzy put me on Sweat and Soap. It is such a warm and cozy and just, I don't know, it's like a feel-good manga. It's about these two characters. They both work for this soap company. She works more on like the administrative side. He's actually the product developer. And so he gets a whiff of her. She has this issue with sweating. She doesn't like that she sweats. She feels like she sweats too much, so she's constantly aware of how much she's sweating. And he gets this whiff of her and he's like, you smell great. And he becomes obsessed with the way that she smells. He, you know, wants to develop products based on her scent. He can read into her emotions based on how she smells. If you just get kind of past that kind of awkward thing of like, this man is in love with this woman because of how she smells and the fact that she sweats a lot, it really is so sweet. And I love it. You get to watch them grow in their relationship. They have their ups and their downs and their insecurities, but they just are so, I don't like, this is like a perfect, I don't know, romance movie playing out in manga form. I don't know. I just think that they are the most adorable couple. The artwork is great. I am currently up to volume 5 in this, so hopefully I will be picking this one up soon and finishing it. The next one that I have here is If I Could Reach You. I have read volumes 1 and 2 of this and also own volumes 3 and 4. This is one that I am kind of like middle of the road with. It focuses on our main character here, and she lives with her brother and her brother's wife. And this is a Yuri title, so she has feelings for her brother's wife. And you know, she has people who are like, you either act on the feelings or you don't. You're just going to be miserable if you continue to just pine for this woman, knowing that she's in a relationship with your brother and you clearly have these attachments to her. I think that one thing that did frustrate me about this series when I first began reading it, and by the time I hopped into volume 2, was that it was like, okay, we know that you have feelings, like you're either going to go for it or you're going to leave the situation alone. And the way that volume 2 kind of ended, it set up the perfect scenario for things to work out between the two of them. And I kind of saw it coming. So that was just a slight disappointment for me because I was able to kind of read the direction that it was going in. And so now I'm ready to dive back into it and see where the story takes our two characters and whether a relationship really ensues between the two of them. The next one that I have on here is one that a lot of people have read, and this is Beastars, and it is by Paru Itagaki. Maybe I'm saying this right, maybe not. But I randomly picked up Beastars from my library and read volume 1 and actually really enjoyed it. This takes place at a school where a herbivore, so the animals they're animals in a school, of course, kind of separated herbivore, carnivore, and there's a herbivore that is found dead, and everyone assumes that our main character here, Legoshi, is the one that has something to do with it because he was really close to the person that ended up, or the animal. He was really close to the animal that ended up dying, and he makes friends, or he has this interesting interactions with this rabbit / bunny. And so it's kind of a test of whether his animal instincts will kick in or whether there's going to be a little bit more there. It's very interesting in looking at that herbivore carnivore kind of dichotomy between the groups and looking at the relationship that he's going to build possibly with this rabbit, and whether this rabbit is really going to test the inner beast that's inside of him. I'm really looking forward to continuing the series. I enjoyed volume 1 so much enough that I actually wanted to start collecting it myself, which is why this is my physical copy of it, and I can't wait to dive into the rest of the story. The next one that I have is a classic, and that's A Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya, and I actually have read this one. I started reading Fruits Basket before these collected editions were coming out. I don't even know if this one really needs much of an introduction because I feel like most people are aware of what Fruits Basket is. However, if you don't know, it focuses on a character by the name of Toru who ends up in this really precarious situation. She ends up living in a tent, and then this family of guys finds her, and they kind of sort of like take her in, but there's something strange that happens with him that is closely related to the Chinese zodiac, and so we kind of get to see her relationships with them play out. It's been a while since I've actually read this bind up, which would be volumes 1 and 2, I believe, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna restart it because I want more of a backstory. I've been watching quite a few people who have been reading this and finishing up their read of the collector's editions, and I think that for a lot of people, they feel like it would hold up if they would have read this when they were younger, and sometimes like reading it now as an adult, things have kind of changed in terms of their feelings. So I'm very interested to see how I'm going to feel about it, and I know how much I enjoyed the volumes that I did read when I was reading them in the single volumes, but we'll see. I may watch this one or read this one and then watch the anime as well, because I really did enjoy parts of the anime. The next one that I have is one that I'm really enjoying, and this is Otherworldly Izakaya Nobu. So the original story was by Natsuya Semikawa, and the manga is by Virginia. I'm not going to even butcher their last name. I'm not going to do it. I cannot do it. I'm not going to do it. But this one is about a eatery that exists in this medieval town, and they make all this amazing food. And so the people in the medieval town are trying to figure out like where are they getting this food from, because it doesn't necessarily exist here. So there's kind of this magical fantasy element to the series that I really do enjoy. One of the things that I think is really interesting about this, y'all won't be able to really see it honestly, is that they talk about Japanese dishes in a way where they are almost the equivalent to German dishes. So in the back here, it has a menu, and when you go down the menu, it shows the food vocabulary, where it's a cross-cultural exchange between Japanese food and German food, which I think that whole concept to me is really fascinating, because everybody's getting to explore different cultures, and I'm all for that. I don't know how many volumes are in this. You will see this on the bottom of the screen, because I've already said this, like, duh, Ashley, like, you've already said this. But I'm slowly collecting this one. It is really great. I have read 2 of the volumes, and I just recently picked up volume 3. Once I finish volume 3, I will pick up more volumes in the series. The next one that I have here should come as no surprise, and this is The Devil is a Part-Timer. And listen, I found out about this one because when I used to do an anime club at my library, we started watching The Devil is a Part-Timer. Then I realized that they were light novels and there was a manga, and so I decided to pick up the manga, and it is so good, y'all. I recently reread volume 1 so I can continue on with the series, but it follows this demon lord who is fighting this epic hero, and they both end up in our world in Japan. And so they're trying to figure out how to live amongst humans, and they're struggling with it, and they figure out that they know each other. But what's interesting is they're supposed to be fighting each other, but there's this other entity, which as far as I've read so far, I don't know what this other entity is. There's this other entity that is actually trying to get rid of them both. Don't know who that is. And so you kind of see the possibility of them having to work together. This has great humor in it. Our demon lord works at McDonald's. I think that's what they call it. It's basically a play on McDonald's, and he loves it. He loves to excel at his job, making sure people get their burgers and their fries. It is the most hilarious and iconic thing that I have read in a manga. I cannot wait to finish the series and dive right back into the anime again. What would I be without, if you know me, if you know anything about me, honestly, if you know me and you know my track record when it comes to reading manga, there are 2 series that I have literally been in the middle of since 2014. Y'all, it is 2022. This is almost 10 years in the game, and I still have not gotten my ish together. But I'm gonna give y'all a second. If you make it this far, guess right now. Pause the video now, and guess in the comments what you think these 2 series are. All right, if you guess Nana and you guess Food Wars, I rock with you the long way, okay? I have been reading these series for years, y'all. These series for me and who I am as a person. If you want to talk about manga that Ashley it defines who Ashley is, these are the 2 series, okay? Everybody that knows me as a manga reader knows that I do nothing but talk about these 2 manga series, and I love both of them. Nana by Ayazawa, Food Wars by Yu Sakuda, favorite series of all time. Nana, of course, follows two women by the name of Nana who both move to Tokyo at the same time. They end up becoming really, really close friends. Slice of life, we follow them on their journey of their ups and downs in relationships, ups and downs in their friendship. One of our Nanas is a rock star, and our other Nana is just literally, she's just trying to put the pieces of her life together. She's a hopeless romantic, unrealistic, but the chemistry between them as friends is so much like sisterhood that it warms my heart. I also love the anime of this one. Love it. Only downside, Nana is not complete. I highly doubt it'll ever be complete. It's been on hiatus for over 10 years, and it hurts my feelings that it's been on hiatus for so long, because I would love to have a conclusion to this, but we're not going to, probably 9 times out of 10, we're probably not going to get a conclusion. And then of course, what would I be without Food Wars? I am huge into food-based manga. Food Wars was one of the first manga outside of Nana that I had ever picked up. This is a book that follows Soma, who is the son of a very well-known chef. They run a family restaurant, and his dad decides to leave, and he says, all right, I'm going to send you to this elite cooking school. So when Soma gets to the school, he finds out that it's a lot more complicated than what he thought. This is not just kids going to school taking cooking classes. These kids are talented, and the school is ruthless, ruthless, ruthless. Even coming in as like a freshman class, the initiation process is absolutely bonkers. It's wild and extremely fascinating. If you like food, if you like getting down into the nitty-gritty science of food, if you like Iron Chef and cooking competitions, Food Wars is definitely going to be the one to spark your interest. It's a lot of interesting and dynamic characters. The only thing that I've heard as we get into later arcs of Food Wars is that our creator was kind of struggling a little bit to kind of break the mode of having shokugekis, which is the competition that happens between two characters. And so some of it gets a little repetitive and redundant, and so it finally closed out at 36 volumes, I believe. I think it's 36. Once again, you will have the information below. But I think it finally closed out, and so that's my biggest fear about getting into the later volumes of this, is feeling that little bit of redundancy. Also, this one is heavy in fan service. I believe that one of the creators on this, the artist on this, I don't know if he did ecchi at one point. I feel like I read that somewhere, so be prepared for that. It's definitely not for everyone in terms of fan service type of stuff. It doesn't bother me. I feel like it does calm down. Like the further you get into the series, it definitely tones itself down, but I would be a liar and not fair if I did not tell you that it is very overt in these first few volumes. All right, y'all, so those are 10 manga series that I'm currently in the middle of. I tried to stick with ones that I own, because if we talk about the ones that I check out from the library, the ones that I read digitally, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. So maybe one of the goals for the rest of this year going into next year is that I really need to focus on finishing up manga series that are complete and catching up on those that are not complete. And clearly I have some on my shelf that I haven't even started yet, so we're not going to talk about that. But in the comment box below, if you made it this far, let me know some manga series that you're interested in or manga series that you're currently reading. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. All of my links to my social media will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.